there's such a fine line with that shit. There's such a fine line with that because I'll initiate all day, every day. Like I am like I have no problem initiating, but like reciprocating the energy is what it's all about. Like if it takes too long, or if I feel like I'm the one constantly reciprocating the energy, or the responses are dry or something like that, and one of my flaws is like my persistence. Like if I want you, or if I want to try to capture your attention, like I'm gonna do everything in my power to try to capture your attention. And and I don't, but like.
Or you'll unfollow them.
No, that's different. That's different. Listen. I was honest with you, and I told you on everything.
I'm just kidding.
No, I get it.
I'm literally being an asshole for fun.
But like, I get it. But like, I can't tell you. Like, I've matched with a lot of girls over my experience with it. I've had more small talk bullshit conversations than I would wish upon anybody, and like. Yeah, how many nurses have I talked to? Yeah,
I'm dead. Yeah. Not the nurses.
And it's just like, it can be tough. You ever see the movie Good Luck Chuck? Mm-hmm. Do you know what that is? Like when he.
I am also a Good Luck Chuck.
When he fucks them and then they end up with the next person.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's anything like that. Like I need to sleep with the girl or whatever for her to find the next person. But like I felt like I watched so many of my matches and these girls that I would match with, where you originally match, you get that. Oh my God, like this girl's awesome. Oh wow, she's actually kind of close to me. Oh wow, we actually have good energy. Like right in the beginning, like it all happened so quickly. But then like something just like slowly fades away, and the next thing I know, a week later, she's like in a relationship with someone who I guess she had just started talking to right before me because I like just missed my window or like whatever it is. And I feel like that would just happen to me so much, and I wouldn't keep following them even though like something might happen down the road. Like it would just hurt me to constantly be opening my social media and seeing what could have been with all these different like things.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them. I want everyone to find their happiness and everything, but it's like at some point I'm like I need to dial down my following just because I don't want to, for my own mental clarity.
No, I feel that. No, well, I feel like that's like a joke where it's like, oh, he broke my heart, but he'll watch my story every day for the rest of my life. Like, hello?
Yeah.
Can you not? No, I'm quick to remove a follower. I'm actually done following you, and you are also done following me. All right, how do you want me to introduce you?
You do whatever you want to do. I'm perfectly comfortable with any just say this is hi, whatever, Brandon Canesi.
Okay, Brandon Canesi.
Professional adaptive golfer.
Adaptive golfer,
Professional adaptive golfer, yeah.
Is that like a category you made yourself?
I mean, no, it's the title that we've crowned, for like, disabled golf has been around for a long time, and there's been so many different types of organizations that have been hosting tournaments and doing all kinds of things. Like the world ranking system was really only established in 2019, and like I started competing in 2018, and ever since then, like it's gotten so just more professional, like bigger sponsors, bigger events, bigger everything, and there's going to be a negative aspect to the word disability. So like instead of saying disabled golf, we say adaptive golf, because that's what we're doing you're adapting over your
disability.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense. I never did it over here. This is a new area for me.
Yeah, let's do it. New vibes are good vibes.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Just Sayin podcast. I'm your host, Mara Herman, and today I have Brandon Canesi, who is an adaptive golfer, and my hinge match.
One of.
I'm crying. One of my hinge matches, I downloaded Hinge for like 10 minutes a couple months ago.
And she struck gold. What can you say?
Shoot your shot, king.
Just quick, you know what I mean? Sometimes Hinge does what it's supposed to, and it's just like, here's the best of the best. And it was obviously my profile.
Right. And so
here we are.
Now we're here. This is a fun fact that no one would know from this podcast, but on my other podcast, I have talked about Jill, who I told you about.
Yeah.
When I did date a girl, it was one of my good friends, Jill, and she only had one hand. She was born without a hand. And so when I realized, when we matched, and then I like did a little bit of digging, I was like, wait, what? And then I'm like,
a deep dive. It doesn't take long.
It wasn't a deep dive. It was a surface skin.
Yeah, I mean, like I have it on my Hinge profile and everything. Like I've
Yeah,
always been
no,
that way. Like I wear my
upfront.
heart on my sleeve because like a lot of people will tend to hide behind whatever they feel they need to hide behind on dating apps. But like if you're not going to show who you are, then like
What's the point?
what's the point? Like if
Exactly.
because that person's not going to fall for you, they're going to fall for who they think that version
Yeah,
of
like
you is.
they're gonna make a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, like this is not new to me, actually. What's up? And so then the other day I thought about it because I forget if you posted something that like sparked the idea, but basically I was like, oh, like that has to be tough. Like it's already tough dating.
Might have been when I
Period.
posted on my story saying like I had two apps at the time. I had Hinge and Bumble, and like both of them said there's no one new in your area.
It was that.
That's what I posted that on my story.
It
I was
was
like,
that.
if you guys were curious on how my dating life is going,
He
not-
has
it's
ran
not.
through the entire radius that he was in.
the place is dry.
Well, Atlantic City is also
Yeah, it's just not a
dry.
Good, yeah, it's not.
I
You know,
mean,
it's home for me. It's
technically
got
it's
good
not.
things. It's
because it's like there's a lot going on there, but like
in
it's
summer months and
not
stuff like that. Sure,
the
yeah,
same time.
there's events and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things about you know, I was living in Miami for almost 6 years, and then you move back home, and you're surrounded by everybody. It's still small town vibes, and everybody's, you know, we're now into our 30s, so everyone's got families and
Right.
is moved
I
on,
know.
and then it's like, all right, now do I start trying to talk to people who are younger than me, but like they're into the party scene and all that stuff,
Right.
and I don't got energy for that. Like the only clubs that I go to are country clubs.
Right,
I'm
right.
Not,
You're
I'm
like,
not going to pop
okay.
bottles. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, what do you think about coming on my podcast and talk about dating and also adaptive dating?
Yeah.
You like what I did that?
No, I do like how you do that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I adapt.
So,
That's what I do.
because when I met Jill, I didn't. She wasn't as forthcoming, like off rip. But
Was
we were
it
also
in
younger.
person or was it?
No, it was
okay.
on. It was
on an app?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
We met on Bumble. It was actually during the pandemic, and I was like, not having luck with men, and I was like, maybe I like girls. I don't know? ? So then I opened it up,
Worth
and
a try.
her profile said something along the lines of like, she's like the queen of nudes, and I was like, no, I'm the queen of nudes. And so then we were like going nude
You
for
can't be
nude.
saying that kind of stuff to me because I need proof. I'm the kind of guy that's like, you need to get her on the phone. I need to get you on the phone, and I'll be the kind of judge.
It's not a competition.
But that's just me being my no filter self. So sorry. Continue. Continue.
It's a safe space. You're good.
Continue.
So we were going back and forth, and then I started to like realize. I was like, wait a second,
You're missing a hand.
you don't have a hand.
Yeah.
And
She's probably
so-
good at hiding it in some of her pics, right?
Well,
Like,
and also we were younger too, and I
Yeah.
feel like probably as you've gotten older, well, I don't know how it is for you, but I
Yeah.
could imagine, at least for me, at a time in my life, that wouldn't be like my first
Yeah.
off the rip thing.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So she's like an icon. Like she's like a power lifter, a nurse, like everything that you think
I gotta
she
give her a
couldn't
follow.
do.
Yeah, I gotta check her
You
out.
know,
Yeah.
like she does.
Yeah.
So
I can relate to that. Yeah.
it was like one of those things where we were like, we had this little like vibe going, and then she kind of brought it to me. Like she's like, I only have one hand, and I was kind of faced with a decision basically of just like, you're not going to talk to her because she has one hand. And then I'm like, no,
So
that's
here's the
not
thing.
who I am.
So in that moment right there,
Yeah.
like it can be so hard, right? Like what your initial thoughts are
Yeah.
when someone says, and by the way, I don't have hands, or by the way, I don't have one hand. Like when I have to like initiate that, and I do it pretty quickly, like when I'm telling someone and I want someone to get to know me, I want them to be curious about me. You know, I tell them pretty quickly, like, hey, like, and I'll tell them in different ways. Like sometimes I'll just like share a link of something cool that I did, like
Right.
something like that, or like so it shows it without me just blatantly being like, hey,
Right.
by the way, I don't
Right.
have hands. I have done that too in the past or whatever, but me being blessed and have done the cool things that I do, it's just an easier way for me to be like, yo, if you actually like, if you're curious about me, check out this awesome thing I did.
Right.
And then by the way, you're gonna learn and see that I don't have hands and I'm a professional golfer.
Right.
You know, slash badass slash whatever I want to do.
Right.
But you know, like I said, like that initial thought, like when you tell someone I don't have hands, like you can't comprehend like what that person like actually lives. Like you might outplay it and you're gonna be like, wow, how does he do this? How does he do anything? How would he hold my hand in the car? How would he like do like
Right.
all these little
Right.
types of things? When, you know, if anybody took the time to get to know me, immediately you don't even realize it with me. Like it's just not, I'm not any different, and
Right.
I do anything and everything that anyone else does. So I get how it can be scary for some people to immediately be like, oh no, that's a turnoff. And like everybody is, you're into what you're into, and you're
Right.
not into what you're not into. But like having an open mind and then not judging people by the cover and is really what is important. And
Well, yeah, it was cool because it was like a mirror moment for me
Yeah.
of like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like you preach X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like now it's your time to stand on that.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, all right, fuck it. Like when
Yeah.
are we hanging out?
Yeah.
Like I was like, what? Like who cares?
Yeah, and then what? The vibes end up being immaculate, right?
Right. Yeah. No. Literally, like she is
And what
like.
if you didn't go just because you were afraid that she couldn't hold two glasses at the same time?
And
when
she
probably
like
still
would
could
blow
hold two
my
glasses at the same
mind
time.
all the time. You know what I mean? Like I was like, you like alter my brain chemistry in a sense, but I know at the same time that she had experiences in the past where
Yeah.
people would treat her differently,
Of
or
course,
like if
yeah.
we're out, like, and someone would be staring at her, like I'd be like, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, she doesn't care, but
Of
like,
course.
stop staring at my friend
Of
unless
course.
you're
Well,
going to
yeah,
tell
but
her she's
but
hot
at the
as
same
shit
time,
and has a
they're
fat
probably
ass.
staring at her because she's gorgeous.
Right.
And that's the same. I grew up, I was born this way, and from a young age, people looking at me everywhere I went, every room I stepped in, I have that energy about me or whatever that I can just
Yeah, like charisma.
whatever, yeah, step in a room and people notice. And being a kid, it can be tough because kids can be
Mean.
other kids can be
Yeah.
mean and whatever. But like I was, better at making jokes about my hands than they were, so they picked up on that. I was always athletic and I always had great friends, and luckily I was never even really bullied much or anything like that because I just had an army behind me. But I would flip it and be like, every room I walk in, when people are looking at me, they might be looking at me because I don't have hands, or yeah, maybe they're looking at me because they think I'm good looking, or maybe
Right,
they're
you're
looking
like,
at me
"I'm
like
fine
whatever
as
it is,
hell."
whatever it is, I'm gonna use that as an opportunity, as a time to shine.
Right.
Because there's plenty of people that go unseen, or what they feel
Yeah.
like is unseen, and they wish they had something that made people drawn to them at first.
Right.
So, there's good and bads
Exactly.
of all of it. Yeah.
So that's why I was excited to have you, because
Yeah.
I'm like, one hand is one thing.
Yeah.
But two is another thing.
Yeah.
But then my favorite part is to be like, and he's a professional golfer. Like
Yeah.
I was like telling my girlfriends,
I got a claw and a nub, and I don't know. They get the job done. And,
Yeah.
And yeah, I designed my own golf clubs that are
Not
super long.
you.
Check out my Insta.
they get
Clubs
the
are
job
super
done.
long, and I tuck underneath my arm, and that's
Yeah,
basically
he made his own golf clubs.
based off of how I grabbed the club when I was a kid. I don't know how much you digged in,
I
like
did.
into my
I
energy.
did.
Yeah, so like I was 6 years old. The club was so little, I was so little, and the club was so big that I just had to naturally tuck it underneath my arm.
Right.
And then I played every other sport growing up. Basketball, baseball, everything team-wise. But then like coaches didn't play me a lot because they didn't see my potential or whatever
Right.
until they gave me a time. And next thing you know, I'm a starter or whatever. But then grew into like teenage years and stuff, action sports took over. I was big into skateboarding, surfing, snowboarding, like all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really into team sports anymore. And then I found golf again when I was 16, 17 is when I built and designed my own clubs with my uncle to just mimic how I played golf as a kid. So the clubs were super big and I could tuck underneath my arm and swing the same way I did as a kid.
That's sick.
And yeah,
So did you guys make like golf bags too for those clubs?
No, my golf bag,
It's
the
just
golf bag that I
standard?
have now is a tour bag, like because I'm sponsored by Cobra and Puma and stuff like that. So they have now perfected my design of my clubs for me, which took my game to the next level. And I compete in adaptive golf, world ranking adaptive golf tournaments all across the country and across the world. Going to be on Team USA later in the year for something actually it's pretty sweet, but
Sick.
yeah, for like a Ryder Cup style thing. And yeah, no, my bag's regular. The clubs are just so different because they're so much longer, so they stick out.
Right.
So
That's
no
why I
matter
asked
where
that.
I go, just like we talked about before, it's like when you walk in a room, people can tell you're different. When I walk to a golf course and I show up to a golf course, my clubs stick out. Like there's no.
You're like, did you accidentally grab my club?
They think I'm like 7 feet tall or like whatever it is, or they think they're just like falling out, so they try to push them like down into the bag or something. It's always funny, and it always sparks conversation. People who are genuinely curious about it. They say, "Oh, what's that?" Whatever, and I'll say, "Oh, I was born without hands, and this is how I hold it, and this is how I swing." And they're like, "Oh, good for you, buddy. Like, good for you. Like, sympathetic.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
You're like, here,
How
let me bust your
yeah,
ass.
and then
real quick.
I'm like, all right, you want to bet me, whatever, and then I just bomb
it
one
down the
down
fairway.
down the middle, and they're like, I'm not about to lose to a guy with no hands, so
You're like,
they
get
bow
back
out.
in your car.
They bow out. Yeah, they bow out.
All right, so what have you felt like? So you're a little bit older than I am. He's a Pisces too. We just found this out because we did some prior stalking.
Gang. Yeah, Pisces gang.
Thank you. So, happy Pisces season. And happy Valentine's Day, whatever.
If you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, what? If you're a Pisces, you love love.
No, I meant into, well, yeah, I know. I just haven't had a good one in a while, all right? So, like,
It's okay.
It is okay.
Good things
It is okay.
take time.
This is true. This is very true.
Gaslighting you, and I'm also gaslighting myself. If I look at my birth chart, I love woo-woo things. So I have a lot of girlfriends who are like astrologers, and my sister's like huge into astrology.
Yeah.
Anyone who looks at my chart is like, oh, you'll find love later in life. Like, when though?
Yay.
Like, how late in life? And I just know
I'm a very
that
go with the flow person. I just kind of want to know when the flow is going to go.
literally.
Yeah, you got an ETA on that? Yeah.
Right. It's like, babe, we're at 30 right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
so, and it's like, obviously it's tough. Obviously you said that you were in Miami and then moving from Miami back to Jersey is just, the vibes are different.
Big change of pace, absolutely.
And also, I'm sure, like, you had mentioned before, you have nieces, and like your brother has.
I'm big into family. I mean, that's a big reason why I moved home in general, is because I was out in Miami chasing my dreams, doing everything, and I accomplished a lot of my goals, in which were pretty impossible goals for a no-handed guy to go out there and become who I always knew that I could become. One of the toughest parts about it all was like that I was alone when I was there. So anytime I would accomplish something amazing and I had this moment and something to celebrate, I was celebrating alone, like because I didn't have my family with me. So it hurt a lot, and that was a big reason why I moved home, because I miss my nieces, miss my brothers, miss being able to play golf, with my friends and stuff like that. And
but it's like
just my values.
It's also like, when you see that, it's hard to like be in our position, in the sense of like being single, and like you're like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be right now.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, it's supposed to be whatever it is.
On top of moving back home, and I'm the only single one of all my friends.
Exactly. Yeah,
and
me
they're
too.
all married and
having
they all
babies.
have,
Totally.
toddlers and,
That's like my very best friend. She manifested the fuck out of her situation. Like, I'm just like, you literally talked about this since we were 12, and it's happening right now. And we like don't talk as much, but like I know that that's like that is like my sister. You know what I mean? So it's just like we're in different like genres, but everyone has their own thing that's coming. So it's like it is hard to like look around and be like, I'm the fun aunt or like the fun uncle.
Yeah, I'm the fun uncle. I love being it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, at the same time, you're always like, damn, when am I gonna have my own little nest egg, my own little group?
Well, Kourtney Kardashian had a baby at 45. Not the skull.
I guess I don't keep up with the Kardashians like
Well,
everybody
I
else.
don't really either, but I did make sure to find out how old she was, because she's older and having a baby. So I'm like, because everyone tells you guys don't get it the way that we get it.
Yeah, no.
But my shelf life is tick-tocking.
I get it.
Allegedly.
I get it.
Whatever.
I get it. I jokingly say that my I guess shelf life,
life.
or not shelf life, but I guess my odds of becoming a stepdad get greater every day.
Yeah.
Because it's just like,
Like, the more the
who's
merrier.
left, who's left is the girls who are the single moms. You know what I mean? So I joke about that. Not that there's anything wrong with that or whatever. I love kids and whatever. No, it's just something I joke about and saying.
It's like you're either gonna get a single dog mom, which could be equally
I'm
as
fine with a single
chaotic.
dog. I'm a single dog dad. I could totally use a single dog mom. Absolutely.
All right. So when you're like swiping, you're obviously, we talked about it, more forthcoming.
Swiping left 95% of the time.
Why?
By the way. I have high standards.
What are you looking for?
So congrats, you made the 5%. What am I looking for?
Yes.
I mean, it's tough, right? Obviously, when you're on dating apps and everything like that, like the first things first is physical attraction. Like, are you attracted to that person? Their energy that they put off in their bio or in their prompts or like whatever it is, like that can be a lot too. I don't dig too deep into you know, what they have going on in their life, what their job is, like what that kind of stuff is, like that doesn't really matter per se to me. I want to see that they're passionate about something. I want to see that they have a heart. And then what's most important to me is like, if and when we do match, it's all about the energy that they give off, like how it's reciprocated. Like I'll initiate, I'll do whatever. And, you know, like I said, like I'm a persistent guy. So if like I see someone I want, I'm going to go after her. But if like a girl can capture my energy and reciprocate it, like I said, that's just all I could ever ask for, and that's all anybody can ever ask for. But it's tough. I mean, there's just so much good and so much bad with dating apps that it's like, you know that everyone's on there, and you know that if you're matching with these beautiful girls, that they have so many likes and they have so many potential conversations, and there's so many things that like the odds of capturing that girl's attention while someone else doesn't have it, or four or five other guys don't have it, that small window you might have, and then being able to take advantage of that small window. Maybe they were busy when they matched with you, and then they never really saw it, and it just went, and then it's gone, or you know what I mean? And then they matched with somebody else that just caught their window when they happened to swipe up and then look at their matches like late that night. Like there's so many things that have to fall into place for people to just, in general, be able to match energies, like to be able to be curious of who you are and what you're into, what you're passionate about, what you like, where you want to be in life, like all that kind of stuff. And a lot of it is initiating the first date, because I'm big into, you know, vibes can only be felt in person. It's, you know, we talk a lot about like you see someone's profile and the way they make themselves look, and then you think who you think they are, but then you meet them and they're different. And that can only be done in person.
Right.
So like, yeah, we got to do the small talk stuff. It's not just going to be like, hey, what's up? See you tomorrow night at 4. Like, I'm like, who are you? Like, what? Like, no, whatever. So, but you know, there's just the right things have to happen at the right time. You can be, as a guy, you know what I mean? Like it's our job to initiate the conversation. Besides Bumble and stuff like that, and they didn't even change Bumble. Like it's our job to initiate the conversation. Did they change Bumble? They changed it, yeah, whatever. So like the guy can like answer on like whatever the question that she posts on her whatever.
Like a prompt.
Yeah. But the guy should initiate anyway. But it can always be back and forth between that, because like if the guy likes her or whatever and the girl's the one that matches it, like if you match with me and I commented on your photo, don't just like it, like say, hey, thanks or whatever, and then like I'll take it from there. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's an ebb and flow like kind of thing, and you just you got to let it flow naturally. It's tough, you know, we talked about expectations and all that kind of stuff, and it's always on your profile what you're looking for. It's like, all right, I'm looking for short-term fun but open to long, or I'm looking for long but open to short. And it's
These are crazy.
It's like what the hell? Like, what are you talking about? Like, let's just meet and see if we vibe at all, and then the rest will happen from there. We don't need to jump into titles. We don't need to jump into anything. Like, you just need to meet new people. That's the whole point of the app. Like,
that's what I'm saying, because I feel like the apps, first of all, they should have paid me for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Like that's, when I lived in LA, I was on the apps, okay?
Been there, done that.
Like,
Trust me,
I was on the apps. Since being back here, it's less. Like, you caught me when I had the apps from when I was traveling. Like,
Gotcha.
I'll get the apps if I'm
lucky.
traveling. I'm dead.
I tend to get lucky sometimes.
I got the apps while I was traveling because I just like to peek around. Like, I'm like, what else?
Yeah.
Because it's not looking good over here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is it not looking good across the board?
Well, that's a tough thing too, is like the distance wise, you know what I mean? And a lot of things
I prefer distance.
on why I unfollowed you or did whatever it is, or like, that's a story for a different time.
If you go to my Instagram as a match, God bless y'all's heart, because I am a lot.
You're a lot. But that's good though, because that's what it goes back to, like being passionate about, and then just not being afraid to like be you. Like that's something that I genuinely fuck with. But I forget what we were saying before.
We're saying that on the apps.
Like, the distance wise and stuff like that. So like, distance can be tough depending upon where you are and what you're looking for. Like, we have our expectations and we know what we want, and we know love type, like whatever, like if I'm into somebody, I want to spend time with you.
Right.
Like, so if you live an hour away from me and we start to vibe immaculately and I want to be with you 3 or 4 nights a week, like that's tough. And yeah, that's no excuse.
4 nights a week.
That's
it's a full-time job.
shadow it down. I'm not saying that's not doable or anything like that or whatever, but like a lot of people will just like put their limit to whatever, 10, 20 miles or whatever it is. And it's like, you either find somebody that's in your area or you're SOL. Like it is what it is. But at the same time, if you're looking for what I'm looking for, and if you're looking for something genuine, which is rare in like these days, you'll do what you have to do to find it. So like if it's past, you have to drive an hour, like do whatever, you know.
No, you're being kind.
Think about
the whole
those
idea of driving an hour.
Oh, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Think about the old time things where people, you know, were going off to war and they're kissing their wives through the ship fucking window, and it's like, see you in if I make it home alive and whatever.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not feeling well, I can't come over. And it's like, no, I would sit by your bedside and help you feel better and like that type of shit. But you can only ever provide that type of energy for someone who lets you provide that type of energy. It's a lot.
Yeah, well, we have like an hour here.
Oh, there's a time limit?
I'm crying.
Because I could keep going.
I'm like, I don't even know what we're at right now. I started filming early. But no, I think it's funny that you're saying that, because to me, I mean, I lived in LA for years. Yeah. So like everything was an hour. So like to me, I'm like, hour schmour. Like, what do you mean? I would rather someone live on the other side of the country.
Yeah, that way you don't. Oh, yeah, that way you can't be smothered by them, like, right? Like in the beginning,
it's just like
in the beginning and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I think that people do like lose their identity a lot of times in relationships. Like I hate the whole concept of like 2 becoming 1.
Yep.
2 becomes 3. It would be 2 equals 3.
Yeah, because you're new people now.
There's like yours, mine, ours. Like, you know, that's how I like to think of things. But I know it was even before
it was
that.
the same thing with me, by the way, living in Miami. Like even, you know, when you'd match with people in the Miami area and stuff like that, it would say you're like 13 to 15 miles away. And you're like, oh, that's not bad. But then you look at it and it's like an hour, half hour to an hour drive.
Right. Yeah.
And people are like, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? And how are you going to say like, you won't drive a half hour to see me, or you won't let me drive a half hour to see you? Like, that's just you showing me that you don't care, or you don't want to make an effort like to see me, to meet me.
And it's like an hour.
Yeah.
Like, what even is that?
I love an hour drive. That's an hour long
time to yourself.
Karaoke show.
Literally. Yeah.
By me.
But this is what I was getting at. You said earlier that like the apps can be a way of like meeting new people.
Yeah.
I feel like people often, since it's an app, like we have to be dating. It's like, no.
Yeah.
That you can like cut your nose off to spite your face with that energy about things. Like that's why I was just like, oh, why don't you come? Let's talk about dating. Yeah. Like obviously I had been following you for a minute.
I was following you too.
But I'm just saying, like, sometimes people aren't meant to date. Like sometimes it's like, what if I found a fire sponsor for you for golfing or something like that? You know,
absolutely.
like that's literally how I got my apartment.
Connections.
Is like not having the expectation of like, oh, since we met on this app, like
it has to be that.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times, like you can meet really dope people, and like if you expedite the process of like getting to know them as like a friend, then you can potentially like lose that friend because you decided to hook up like prematurely or something like that. Yeah. And other times, like, I mean, sometimes it's good to expedite the process.
Oh, yeah,
but at the same time, it's like you can like miss out on genuine people or genuine connections because it's like, oh, well, it was a dating app. It's like, who cares?
Yep.
It's like just a way.
It's a way to meet new people.
Of 100%. Meeting new people.
That's the idea. That's why it was built. But then we have our expectations of why each one was built. Like Tinder, when it was first came out, it was the first dating app. It's like it's strictly to just hook up. And
well,
then people
now,
and then people are like, all right, but like I want to have a Tinder, but I'm not like hooking up. And then it's like a dating app is a dating app. In my opinion, they're all the same. Like they're all the same. You can be on whatever one for whatever reason, but have the same intentions on whatever app.
Yeah. I mean, like there's like the generic like vibes of each.
Oh, of
like
course,
there's like levels. Like I feel like Hinge is like the
then you get to like eHarmony and
Plenty of Fish.
Plenty. That's like such an old one too. Yeah, that's.
Or like Facebook dating. That's like the other day my friend was like, get on Facebook dating. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I hate to admit this, but I hopped on Facebook dating for like literally like 2 months when I moved home and immediately got off it. I think in my bio I was like, so I hate that I'm resorting to this, but here I am and we'll see if it works. And then yeah, it just didn't lead to anything, so I ended up deleting it. But like I said though, like we'll do anything, right? Like to find what we think we want to find, it's worth it. If you got to download an app and make a profile, like you never know what can happen just by putting yourself out there.
Right.
On anything.
Yeah. You might have the sickest fucking apartment in Philadelphia.
Clearly.
Like from
Clearly.
a Bumble match, like you just don't know.
Yeah, this place is a vibe.
Or you might have someone that can travel with you and make content for you while you play golf. Like who knows?
Yeah.
It could go a plethora of different ways.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to like make a sales pitch of yourself, like so we can like get you a girlfriend?
Here's the thing: is like, and I kind of said this earlier, is I'm not focused on that anymore. You know,
You missed your shot. Not you, them.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that if it finds me, then I'm not gonna accept it. But like this year, I'm putting so much of my emphasis, like all of my energy, into my adaptive golf career. You know, I have big dreams. I've accomplished a lot of my big dreams that were already said to be impossible before I achieved them. And now I have bigger ones, and I'm putting all of my energy into that pot. And if and when, not if, but when those things happen, you know, it'll just be me being me and developing into who I'm supposed to be. And then when I'm who I'm supposed to be, I'll find who I'm supposed to be with.
Totally.
In my way. And
Yeah, I
that's
think
so
so
much
too.
harder to do than it is, you know, it's so much easier to say and harder to do. Because I'm guilty of the complete opposite. Like I've been saying it for forever, and people have been telling me all the cliche stuff for forever.
Right.
They'll find you when you least expect it, and
yeah.
when you don't looking for it, and blah 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 blah. But like, how do you not look for it? Like, how do you not want to be with somebody like on your downtime and like whatever,
Right.
and have fun and share your life with someone to grow with? And I think that's also something that's tough in the whole dating app, is like when girls are, and most girls, you know, they don't want to sleep around. They want to find somebody that cares for them, that wants what's best for them. And I have too big of a heart for my own good, so I genuinely care about everybody. But, you know, most girls want a man who's already established, who's already has everything established, that can just give
Right.
them the world
Right.
on a pedestal right from the beginning. And that's just not how it's going to be a lot of the times. Like sometimes you have to find that man that has drive and might not be there yet, but he will be one day.
Right.
And that guy could use the support and love way more than the guy who was already successful.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, be someone that you can grow with. Be someone that you start on the bottom with, and then you see the ways. And that's something that I wish I had, because it can be tough for me to tell my story to people, for them to really understand everything I've been through and everything I've done. You know, it would be a little more sweet if someone was there the entire way to really
Right.
understand the dynamism of everything. But it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right, yeah.
So,
Well, I feel like the
she said,
detachment of
yeah.
it is like the best way to be.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like everyone's on this whole, have you heard of the Mel Robbins, like, let them theory?
No, what's that?
Have you ever seen the Waka Flocka meme? Where
Waka Flocka, no hands? Yeah.
where Waka Flocka's like, okay.
Probably.
Well,
Probably.
I'm going to show you, because it's my favorite
I
GIF
can't
of
tell
all
you how
time.
many videos I have of like people and that like comment on my viral posts tagging Waka Flocka and being like, "Look, ma, no hands."
I'm fucking screaming! Yeah, like
That is
the
one
internet
of-
is crazy.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's a good one.
Hold on, this is the Waka Flocka meme.
I gotta see this. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, where he like looks to the side. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So Mel Robbins' theory is always like, the let them theory is just like, let them, like
Let 'em be, yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Like, okay, like if you're, like if you think it's supposed to be this and it's not that, like, okay.
Yeah,
it's just
it's for
like
a
the
reason.
art of detachment, basically.
Yep.
And
Letting things happen naturally to you that are supposed to happen to you.
yeah, well, I have always gone by the Waka Flocka meme. And then the Mel Robbins let them theory
Yeah.
came out, and I'm like, they're twins, but they don't know it. But
know.
it's like that same vibe. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, okay. It's like you can't, like when you detach yourself from like what it's supposed to be or like what you wish it was.
Yeah.
And just be like in it, what it is now.
In the
It's
moment,
like
in the moment. If there's one thing golfers need to be, it's in the moment. And as a professional adaptive golfer, I preach that in a lot of my
wouldn't you just
teachings and
be
stuff
a
like that.
professional golfer though? Also,
Yes
Can
and
we
no.
cut the
So
shit?
it's yes and no because you need to know. Like it's not like I'm a professional golfer, like I'm on the PGA tour. Like there's
but
different
like, is
there's
there
different
even a
types of
level
tours.
of adaptive golf for the PGA Tour?
No, that's
So
what
don't
I
piss
that's
me off.
that's what I.
Like PGA Tour, I'm calling you to do better. Like why?
The PGA does sponsor one of the bigger adaptive events. It's one that I'm playing in May, the USDGA Open, United States Disabled Golf Association. So I mean, like there is ties and there's like so many things, but like within professional golf itself, like there's so many different tours. Like you have the PGA Tour for the pros, the guys,
Yes.
the LPGA Tour, the Ladies Professional Golf Association. You have the Champions Tour, which is all of the old heads who used to be on PGA Tour, the Hall of Famers who are now old,
Who are standing at the older people's
they're
marker.
50 and over or whatever. Yeah, the older team. But you know what I mean? So
know.
there's different tours, and then there's like the European tour, there's the Asian tour, there's the all different kinds of things. All over the world, there's different levels of tours and where you have to work your way up. Now the PGA Tour is at the top. Adaptive golf is so new, and like it's been around for a while, but the real tournament aspect of it, the ranking systems, the different classifications for different types of disabilities and everything, like that whole system is so new. And I'm one of the bigger ambassadors for it. And I love it. I would have it no other way. It's who I was born to be. And for me, it's all about spreading knowledge of adaptive golf. Like my Instagram whole eye and like all that kind of things, like it's me posting videos, doing what I do just to inspire others to overcome their limitations. Everyone has limitations in life, physical or mental.
Right.
Golf is a physical and a mental game. You got to overcome the mental limitations of golf just like you have to overcome the physical limitations of golf.
Right.
And my main goal is inspiring others to overcome their limitations and spreading awareness of adaptive golf, making it look cool, using social media to just really show the world what's going on here, because a lot of people don't really understand the ins and outs of how big it is, how big it's become, how big it will be, how impactful it is, how inspiring it is. I mean, there's so many amazing stories. I've been blessed to be able to do really cool things on Golf Channel and Golf Digest and like different magazines and cool things where I have these professional editors and all kinds of teams who tell my story to help, inspire others and grow the game of golf and adaptive golf. People that don't know that could potentially play golf the way that I do or whatever.
Right.
But I want to create a platform to give that to others, because every single person I compete with and all of these people that I, bond with over adaptive golf tournaments, everyone is just incredible. I mean, the way that they adapt, the way that they, overcome their limitations, like for me, it's all about spreading that awareness while making it look legit, while showing how good we are, because there's a bad stigma of adaptive golf. You think of like disabled golf and stuff like that, you're like, how good can they really be swinging with one hand, or someone who's blind, or someone who's in a wheelchair, or a guy with no hands. It's like, how good can you really be? But like, we're freaking, like, we're really good. So
Pause. There's blind golfers?
Hell yeah, there's blind golfers.
What?
Yeah, I play with, yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. And people think about blind golfers.
That is insane.
I got a really funny story actually for a blind golfer, but people think about blind golf and it's like, if you think about it, so like if you were to just close your eyes when hitting a golf ball, the golf swing is built off of muscle memory. So like you can easily set up to a golf ball, and if you sit there and practice it enough, you can learn how to hit the ball straight. But it's knowing where you're actually aimed. So like there's different rules and regulations for golfers with disabilities that don't apply to people without disabilities.
Okay.
For blind golfers, their caddy is allowed to stand behind them and line them up, physically touch their club and like be like, all right, a little to the left, a little to the right, a little to the left. Like other people, you can't do that. That's not allowed. The player has to align themselves. For blind caddies, so think about that. It's crazy that you can just be able to hit a ball straight and like hit it far. But if you think about it's called short game, like when you're chipping and putting, like the flag is only 10 feet away, but it's a side hill and you have to hit it 12
like
inches to the
wind.
left, and you have to take all these things into account, and you have to feel, this person's blind and has to feel that type of shot, like that type of finesse shot, and you watch a blind person do that will just blow your mind. Like, absolutely, it's just so inspiring. I mean, it just goes to show there's literally no stopping somebody who wants to do something, like who's passionate about the game of golf. Like, will drive so many people to do anything like in their power. But the funny story I have is actually from the first U.S. Open for adaptive golfers. The U.S. Adaptive Open was at Pinehurst, and I was paired with a blind golfer the first round, the first day. And on the very first hole, I had a putt. We were on the green. I had a putt that was like 15 feet, and he had a putt that was on the same line as mine, but he was closer to the hole, like half the way, half the distance. And you know how blind people are kind of just like staring off into the distance a little bit? Like it seems like they're staring off into the distance. This guy's, his name's Jeremy. He's an amazing guy. He's staring off into the distance. I hit my putt and I make it. And so since his putt is on the same line as mine.
His putt went too?
Well, no, now it's his turn. So I go to get my ball out of the hole and I'm walking back towards him and he's staring off and he goes, "Hey man, thanks for the read." Meaning, like, so when someone says that, that means like, hey, thanks for showing me what the ball does, because we have the same angle putt.
Right.
So like, hey, thanks for showing me what it does. Since I got to watch yours, I now know what mine does. He can't see. He didn't see anything. He's like, "Thanks for the read." I'm like, "Bro, you didn't see anything." So like, that's like, you have to understand the innuendo, like the ins and outs of golf.
Right.
But like, that is just freaking hilarious. Like, that is so funny. And like, to be in a tournament mode and like the atmosphere, if you know tournament golf, like it's just a different atmosphere. Like you're taking it serious. And that was like the first hole. So that like made me laugh and broke the ice a little bit and like eased the tension. And that's just like all of what adaptive golf is. You know, I've had a sense of humor like that my entire life. There was another quick story. I was playing in a tournament in Las Vegas with a guy. It was a practice round. This guy was missing both legs, and his wife was caddying for him. And he had this really long putt that he had to try to hit. It was like a 30-foot putt. And when he hit it too soft. And sometimes when, like, you can tell that the ball is running out of pace, people will scream, "Get legs!" Like, because they want the ball to like run out. They want the ball to go further. Right. And that's what he hit this putt, and his wife goes, "Get legs!" And like, I just start dying laughing at the irony, because he doesn't have legs, and like no one else was laughing. And it's like, I don't know, that's just my kind of humor, and that's just like,
you're like,
what
no,
adaptive golf is.
Yeah. You're like, hello.
Yeah, that's just what it's about. That's what adaptive golf is, and I'm all about that energy. And it's, for me, it's not just golf too. You know, it's whatever you're passionate about. Like, for me, I'm crazy passionate about golf. Yes, so that's why you're going to see my videos are about what I do. But like, I love all sports, and if I can inspire others to just do whatever it is, I don't care if it's painting, whatever you're passionate about, just go do it. If a guy with no hands can play golf the way that I play golf, then I'm sure that no matter what you got going on, you can do what you love too. So,
right. Or like what you think you can't, or what everyone told you.
What everyone thinks. There's nothing better than when someone thinks I can't do something, because now I'm going to do it better than you anticipated.
Well, your picture the other day that you put on your story with every single sport, I was like, bruh.
What? Oh, like when I was a kid? Like
yes!
That stuff? Yeah, I mean, I grew up outside. Like, I was like a legit 90s baby, you know what I mean? Like, just always outside. Like, came home bleeding every day from skateboarding or running around in the woods or like playing whatever. Like, I was outside all the time, just dabbling in different sports and doing different things. And one of the best things for me was like, I have an older brother that I grew up with, and he just didn't treat me any differently. And I would play with him and his friends and my older cousins and all kinds of things. And there was no mercy. They weren't going to let me win. They weren't going to let me do nothing. Like, I had to earn, like, I had to go out there and get after it.
Right.
And that helped just build my character. And
did you guys like ever get like crafty with like how to include you? Like,
no, I mean, I was just included anyway.
Per se.
Well, the bats and the things, that all came from Shriners Hospital. So I was a patient of Shriners growing up as a kid, and they did make me some prosthetics for my nub. They made me, I remember being super young, they made me a hand that would like, it was only the thumb that would like close, and it had a big string that would like hook onto this, and I had to like stretch it for the thing to close. I hated it. I was like, this thing's heavy. I was, I was just such a stubborn little kid where I was like, I don't need anyone's help, or I don't need
Right.
I don't need anything to do anything. I can do everything on my own.
Right.
Even though these people just wanted to help
Help
me,
you.
like
Yeah.
whatever. But they did make me prosthetics for baseball, where it was like my nub slid in to the thing that was on a bat, and then it was on a hinge, and then I would like rotate through, and I pitched, and that was basically the only kind of prosthetic kind of thing
That is
that I used.
Yeah.
I was huge into basketball when I was like super young. Space Jam was like one of my favorite movies. I used to. My mom is actually a professional singer, and I remember she was opening for someone big back in the day, and they pulled me up on stage, and he was like, "What do you want to be, young man?" And I was like, "I want to be the first NBA player with a disability." And I was like 8 years old or something like that. Like I was in love with basketball. I used to just heave it up. Like I could make it from like anywhere, but I was so small and didn't have hands, so like coaches just didn't give me much of a chance
You're
in the
like,
beginning.
watch.
But like,
I can
yeah.
show you.
No, I have crazy basketballs. I had this one story with my grandpa. I was visiting from town. My mom's family's actually from Miami, but it was funny. She ended up in New Jersey, whatever. And my grandpa came to see me one time during my rec basketball game. I was on like the worst team in the league. And I think this had to be like 4th or 5th grade. I was on the worst team in the league, and we were going against the best team in the league. And our best player on my team, like our only decent player, had a family event or had something, and he wasn't going to be there. So I was the next best player on the team. Like it was literally the Bad News Bears of basketball. The coach pulled me aside, said, "Brandon, Willie's not here today, whatever. I want you to bring the ball up." He's like, "I want you to just do whatever." He's like, "You want to shoot it every time? You shoot it every time. I really don't care." He's like, "We're probably going to lose this game. Whatever." Like most of the the kids that were on my team were literally like afraid of the ball. Like
Right.
I would try to pass it to them, and they would like go out of the way. So I specifically remember, this is the highlight of my basketball career. I had 27 points, nine threes, including a final buzzer beater half court swish. But hang on a sec, because we lost. We lost horrifically. The score was 54-28.
You got 27.
I had 27 out of the 28 points. The
Bruh.
one other point was when I had checked down. I remember I checked down to our center, this big, bless him, big goofy kid, got fouled making the shot, and then he missed one of the free throws and made the other free throw. So I would bring the ball up every single time, and then the top of the 3-point, just like let it go, and it would be in the air, and I would be like, yes, and then turn around like Steph Curry would do or something like these days, like whatever. But I was 10 years old, and so this was in 2002 or something like that, and like my grandpa was here for this game.
Yeah, like
and the crowd's going crazy because this little no-handed kid is just walking up, just launching the ball every single time, and it's just like snapping the net, like every single time, just swish, 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 and then right at the very end, I literally just hucked up at the end of the game buzzer beater, and it just like literally couldn't have like snapped the net, like it was just a swish, and the whole like everyone just went like crazy, and it was like the highlight of my basketball career.
I'm
But
crying.
yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
amazing.
It was awesome. I retired after that.
You were like, all right, I'm
bowing out.
maxed out.
I'm bowing out. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've dabbled in every sport, but when golf found me, or then when I found golf, it just crazy took over my life because I was so weirdly good at it. And I just noticed how unique I was, how unique my clubs were, because everywhere I went, they would just turn heads, and people are like, "What is that? What is that?" And I would just get this weird feeling when I'm on the golf course of that's who
Like
I
you're
am.
home,
I'm
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like there's no
Right.
way that a guy with no hands can be this good at golf, which is one of the toughest sports
Right.
out there.
Yeah.
And like it not be something, me not be able to capitalize on it or do something about it. And that's when, I took a chance and went to school for golf in 2018 in Myrtle Beach. It was the Golf Academy of America, which was basically just a trade school for like a business degree in golf operations and management.
Oh, cool.
And they were in existence for like 20 to 25 years or something like that, but they literally shut down one semester when I was one semester shy of graduating. Like that's just like those are like the patterns of my life. Like that's just the kind of shit that happens to me. Like I was one semester away from graduating, and they lost accreditation and funding like at the same time. Like I went to take my third semester finals, and they pulled everybody into the like main room and were like, listen, like these are our last finals. These last semester graduates are going to be the last ever graduates, and good luck. And it was wild. I landed on my feet anyway, and then like got a job in the industry down in Miami working at Trump National Doral, and made my connections there, and did, you know, I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason.
Right.
I'm living proof that everything happens for a reason, so it's all just part of the journey, but it's definitely been a hell of a journey. And I'm still just getting started is the cool part.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, when I was, you know, doing my research, I was...
Deep dive.
Yeah, well, because I read the story about, like, how this even came to be.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, so can you just give us quick synopsis of, like, obviously
Why
you
I
were
was born this way?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
absolutely. So my mom thought she was pregnant, but some home tests, I guess, were inconclusive. So she went to the doctor, she went to the hospital to take some tests. She read someone else's results, and they told her she wasn't pregnant when she was pregnant with twins. They had prescribed.
I read it.
They had prescribed her something. They had prescribed her something at the time to kind of help speed up her cycle.
Yeah, like
do
get her
whatever.
back
Yeah,
in her
get her
flow.
Yeah, exactly. There were repercussions that weren't discussed on what side effects might be if whatever the medication or whatever, and whatever. Yeah, the medication ended up causing my mom to have a miscarriage of my twin, and then cause what's known as limb reduction to my hands.
So did your mom get to sue the shit out of this hospital, or what does that look like?
She tried, but yeah, we lost.
Okay.
I don't know. It's one of the things that, like, one of the many things that I think about at night or whatever. I have one memory of the court.
Oh, you went to court.
It didn't get settled until I was in like 4th grade. I remember they pulled me out of class one day in 4th grade, and they brought me in front of the jury, and I remember the judge asking me if I could do anything or if I had troubles doing anything.
And you're probably like, nah, I'm good.
Exactly. Not knowing how terrible that probably was
dead. No way.
for the case.
Right.
But you have little me just being oblivious to what's actually going on, even though...
And just bold.
Yeah, and just me being me, and just, no, I can do anything. No, I can
Right,
do anything.
right.
When in reality, they don't know how much they took from me, and, you know,
Well,
and the options, and the, you know, it's tough. I'm creating my own way, and I'm blessed to have done so. It's not easy. It's not easy for anybody. But if you think about manly careers,
Right.
they're based off of your hands.
Yeah.
This world is based off of your hands. Like, I would have loved to have been a cop, a firefighter. I would have loved to serve my country.
Right.
I would have loved to do all these things where, like, guys can fall back, even being a server, being a bartender, like being all those things. Like, it's not easy to find a regular, quote unquote, whatever, like, job as a guy with no hands. Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter how personable you are, how good you are, how hardworking and whatever. Like, I'm all those things, but, you know, there's just certain things that you just...
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what they're for. Like, they're literally
that's-
made to make your life easier.
Yeah, well,
like,
that's how we
so
are. That's how we evolved. That's
right.
That's what a human being is. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, that's just fucking bananas.
Yeah.
That's how that happened. Because,
Yeah.
like...
It's unfortunate, and, like, but, you know, you can always look at things from different angles, like, and whatever. I get salty about it sometimes because I'm like, there's no way I shouldn't have won that and been a friggin' millionaire just off of that and what they took off me. And
Right.
and I wish that I would have had the ability to talk to them just like I'm talking to you now and be able to fight my own fight and
Right.
really tell them what they took from me instead of a little 10-year-old me saying I can do anything.
Yeah, it's like almost
and whatever.
not fair
Because, well, yeah,
to
I mean,
put you
think
on the
about,
stand like that.
Think about all kinds of, like, people that sue for injuries and, like, sue for things, like people that burn themselves on a cup or, like, that walk into an automatic door or something and are awarded millions of dollars
Right.
for an injury that they're going to heal from in 6 months.
Right.
This is a lifetime thing. This is, you know, it's been there since day one. It's going to be there till the last day. And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. It is what it is.
No,
you know,
yeah. I mean,
gotta,
it's sick that you're
Yeah.
killing it with
yeah.
the hands
You got
you were
no
dealt.
option. Yeah, see what you did there. Yeah.
But you know
nubs
what
I
I'm
was dealt.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, at the same
Yeah.
time, yeah, when I was reading that, I was like, that is so insane.
Yeah.
And also, it's just insane, too, just like the medical system in general.
Oh, I
like,
know,
how the
I know.
hell do you guys not mention that?
I
Like,
know. I
obviously, that was a long time ago in the sense of, like, the 90s and things are different now,
Yeah.
period. But it is crazy because the climate was so different.
Oh, 100%.
And today I feel like it would be like there's no, they would be like burned at the stake, you would almost assume.
Yeah.
I would think. I don't know. But, I mean,
It's
nonetheless,
tough. The only thing-
you'll just become a millionaire in a different way.
Exactly, but it is what it is at this point, and now all that you can, I think one of the best things for me is like, well, right when I was born, my dad, it was funny, one of the very first things he said was, it's a shame he might not be able to play golf. Because, I mean, you get a little baby, you didn't know that he was about to be born without hands, now he's born without hands, and your mind's going to race.
Right,
as a
well,
parent.
you want to keep
you want
your
him to have
kids
a real life.
safe,
You want,
and
you want him to have
be
a good
comfortable.
life. You want him to
Yeah.
have every option available to them and not have to worry about that kind of stuff. But what's awesome is, like, in my videos, when people reach out to me and they say, hey, I have a kid who's got a similar situation as you, and I like, thank you so much because I show him your videos and he loves it. Or I just had a kid who's born and isn't old enough yet, but when he is, I'm going to show him your videos.
Right.
And, like, I can't thank you enough for
For showing me what's possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For showing the
Yeah.
parents even. It's
Exactly.
not about the kid. It's about saying, like, hey, listen, it's going to be okay. Like, you just have to, there also has to be a fine line of, like, supporting them, but also letting them adapt on their own.
Right.
Like, don't baby them too much. Like, baby them, help them, but, like, let them figure it out.
Like, yeah, like let them fall.
One of my favorite stories from my childhood is something my grandpa told me. So I was like 1, and he was watching me play with toys, and I had a ball in my claw. Mm-hmm. I was holding it, and I was trying to pick up a ball with my nub, and I couldn't pick it up. And he said he watched me for a minute or so. He's watching me trying to pick it up. I couldn't pick it up. He said I took the ball, put it like up against my thing like this, and picked up the other ball and walked away. And he said, from watching that, he said he's good. He's fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And, like, that's how you learn.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, like, even, like, as adults, like, it's like we're so quick to be like, can someone help me?
Yeah.
It's like the kids, that's, like, my
Figure it out.
favorite thing is, like, little kids. Like, I love little kids because I'm like, dude, they don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care what they look like. They'll go for it.
Yeah.
If they fall, like, and that's, like, another thing, like, like, when I'm with my friends' kids, I'm like, if they fall, like, I'm just like,
oh yeah, you can't react
like,
to
read
it.
the room.
Yeah, the
I'm
worst
like,
you can be is
yeah,
like, oh, because they're gonna.
and then they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, you didn't even care.
Pause for a second. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right, you kind of, like, wrapped up our episode. Is your mic back on? Nope. Okay, well, I hope that I don't get you a girlfriend from this episode because you're very busy.
I
and
am.
have to travel around the world.
I am.
And
I have a big year planned out, and really am.
It's the year for Pisces.
Good. Makes sense.
Did you know?
So actually, well, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you know if 2018 was also a year for Pisces?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because in 2018.
I kind of was popping off in 2018
same.
too.
In 2018, the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Oh.
And I had one of the best years of my life, which when I had the viral video in Myrtle Beach playing a lot of golf, it skyrocketed me into a lot of everything that I do today and introduced me to competitive adaptive golf and all that kind of stuff, and was just a great year. And now this year, the Birds done did it again. Go Birds. And I'm just ready to have another great year. Beyond that.
I feel like it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm claiming it for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, so can you drop your socials
Yeah.
so that people can connect with you if they want to, or they want to watch your golf journey?
Yeah,
or your dating journey?
I'm on Instagram and TikTok. I don't really post on TikTok as much as I do on Instagram. It's mainly just Instagram, but it's called Hole High.
Okay.
HOLE_HIGH.
Okay.
Hole High is basically a golf term, meaning that you went the distance, the correct distance.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have a 100-yard shot and you hit it exactly 100 yards, but it's just to the left or just to the right of the flag, you're on the green, but you're hole high. You know what I mean? Like you're
like a hole shy, high or low.
No,
depending.
like because every green, when you're on a green, like there's depth to it, like because it's the front to the back, like, and then wherever the hole is, that's where you are, meaning you're hole high or flag high. Like those are just golf terms and definitions. Hole high is the correct one, but hole high basically means go the distance, and that's what I'm trying to do is
You're doing it.
go the distance, which is, yeah,
It's happening.
it's happening. It's all happening.
It's happening. It's like the Michael Scott meme. It's like my
Yeah.
favorite next to Waka Flocka.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Whole
Full
High
High.
on Instagram, just all my golf videos and watching me.
Is that what it is on TikTok too?
That's what it's, yeah, same thing on TikTok. And it's just, I just take videos of me playing. This year is going to be huge, so I have a lot of tournaments lined up, and I plan on.
and you have a GoFundMe that
I do
we
have a
need some loving
GoFundMe.
on.
Definitely hit that GoFundMe. You'll see.
$5 counts.
It's in my bio on Whole High. Yeah, anything.
500 also counts.
Any help helps is what I like to say.
That's what I'm saying.
Any help helps. If you I have 21,000 followers, something like that.
Imagine if everyone did $1.
Yeah, imagine if everyone did $5. Yeah,
$5 would be
That's a
bananas.
freaking $100,000. That's $100,000. That would
know.
cover my next 5 to however many years of tournaments, or me being able to make my own bigger tournaments and just turn it into bigger things, because I have nothing but good ideas and ways to grow the game.
Right.
That I
or
know,
you hire
that I
an
know and love.
illustrator for your
Photographers,
next project.
yeah, anything. The world is yours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for having
All
me.
the way an hour.
Yeah. No, it's worth the drive, obviously, just to feel the vibes of this place.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
glad I was able to get you
Yeah.
here, and now I get to keep it. So we get to stay here too. Thank
That's
God.
a win. That's a win. It's a win.
So
it's a
many
year
wins.
for Pisces.
It's the year for Pisces.
Add it to the list.
All right. Maybe we'll have you back in a couple months.
Yeah.
After you're on your tour,
Okay.
and you can bring some awards with you.
I'll bring it all. I'll bring some hardware home with me. That's the plan anyway. That's what we're doing all year.
That is the plan.
Bring it home.
All right. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.
Peace.